Hey, University. As you well know, we have made a new website and a new app here recently, and I wanted to make a video to show you how to use the website. There's already been one with the app, and there has been a little bit of confusion that right now these are different entities. And so whenever you do the app, it asks you to sign in, and so people think that this has gone on with the website as well, but this is something different. And so this video, I want to go through and show you how to set up your profile if you haven't already, as well as show you a little bit of the features that we end up having. So let's go. So the first thing I want to direct you to is your email. You should have received an email that the target or the sender would end up being University Church, and it says new login created. And so this was sent on February 1st for those that are in the first batch, which should be everyone from the beginning. And if you click on it, then it says new login created. A new login was created for you with the following username. Whatever your email address is, that's your username. And it gives you this button to activate the login. And so this is what you must do first. And before I click that, I want to go back to the email and show you that I have sent you an email. It'd be on that first day, which gives you information about this. It has your name and some things for you to end up doing. And it says you should have just received an email, but it was not from me. It was from University Church. And so you may search for that if you haven't found that, or just new login created. If through all of that you can't find the email, simply email me at chris.roberts.ucc@gmail.com, and I can send you an activation link once again. And so whenever we click on this, we are brought to this website that is ccbchurch.com. One thing I would recommend is that after we set this, and so it has our username, you can set this as anything you want, but it must have letters and numbers, and it must contain at least 6 characters. And so those are the characteristics that this password must end up having. And so I'll submit it, and the password tells me it is successfully updated. And now I am brought to this website right here. And this is the login page. What I would end up doing if I were you is, if you're using Chrome, and I think most of the other browsers as well has this as well, but you will see a star or a way to bookmark it. And I would bookmark this tab. And then whenever you go through, you can set this up at any time, or you can come back to this website just by clicking a button and make that really easily. And so I'm going to go through and I'll type in my username along with the password that I just created. Okay, so after you log in, you're going to come up to a home screen, and I'll go over some features of this home screen here in a moment, but the first thing I want for you to do is to edit your profile. And so in the upper right-hand corner, you will see this icon. It'll have your initials. And so this is TO because this account's name, I've named it temporary. And if you click that, it'll bring you up to your account, and you can see, should have just basic information for you right now that I've created. Should have your family that you end up having. And but first thing I want for you to do is to edit your profile. And so you go through and you can select this, and it has your email that was for your username. You can change this if you so choose, if you want your email to go to something else. You need to go through and change your mobile phone number, and change your phone number. But the most important part of this is to add your cell phone carrier, whatever that ends up being. And the reason for that is that this cell phone carrier allows us to send a text message through the website to give you any updates, such as church being canceled due to the weather or other major announcements that we may have. And then you may notice that there's this add phone field, and you can add a work phone if you wanted to. You could add a home phone if you wanted to add that as well. I don't have a home phone, and so I have no need for adding that. The next thing, a little section that you will see is a mailing street. And so you'll add your address. If you want it to be a PO box, you can do that. Have whatever it is that you would want for that info. If you want a PO box, but also you want to add a home address, you can do that by selecting this plus sign below the mailing street, and you can add that info, your work address, any other info that you would have. And so that is your basic contact profile information. And then below that, this on personal, you can add gender, you can add your birthday. And this is what I have noticed has given most people trouble that have tried this, is that they will go through and that they'll select this calendar and they will just type in what their birth date ends up being. And let's say that your birthday ends up being April 1st, okay? And so you go through and you select April 1st, and once you do that, you think it should be just fine. However, the year there is 2021, and it'll say this message of "Great Scott, are you really from the future? Because April 1st hasn't happened yet. There's no way that you could be born on that date." And so you need to go through and select this date. And so it could be of anything. And you could just type in the numbers instead of finding the calendar, and that's what I would recommend doing. And that will fix that. One thing I did want to show is that you will notice that if this was 2021 or sometime in the future and we had this issue, notice how save is grayed. I can no longer select it because I have an invalid entry. And so if that's the case, then there'll probably be something that is red that you can't do. Maybe your email address is incorrect. It doesn't have an @ symbol in it or something along those lines. And so I'll go back and change that to the year. So that is a valid date. Notice now that once again, it is blue, so I could select that. This is really going to be most useful for our children. And as we put them in classes, I can group them by their ages. And so as we add that functionality, that will help us out quite a bit. Also, this feature has something where I could not search unless you have administrative properties or you are a teacher and you've been given this access. You cannot search for other children younger than 12. And so, for instance, and I'll show you that here in just a moment. But other things you have your marital status. So I could go in and say that this person's married. I could put the anniversary. I could put allergies. Now this is a yes or no, but then on special instructions, you can go through and put in what those allergies are. One neat thing about this is that if you were to register this person for other events, that information would end up coming up. And so that should help with some of those things that I'm always seeking out and I always forget. And so those are the major things from your profile that you have with this. And so I'll go through and I'll go ahead and save it. Okay, and so it has updated. And then another thing that you can end up doing, notice I have this family and there's a picture here. And so I can add a family photo. So this would be of your entire family together. And so I have gone through and I've gotten a photo. This is kind of wide, so you'll have to change what this photo ends up being. And so this will be on each person's profile. But I can add a profile, a photo of myself. And I can do that one of two ways. I can either click on the photo icon here, or under edit profile, I could have done this earlier by clicking on the photo here. And so I've downloaded something, it'll let me select it and I will add it. This says that my phone number wasn't valid because I don't have an area code this go around because it tried to add that one out in front of it. And so I'll go and fix that. It doesn't matter. This isn't a real account anyway. And then one thing I want you to notice with this, yes, I've added the photo here, but notice that it's no longer your initials here. It is your photo. that represents your profile, as we should probably expect. Now, earlier, I was talking about children. And so on this family, I can go through and I can select, okay, so my spouse's, this person's spouse's name is contemporary, and they have a child just born 0 years old. And so I can go through and I can select that. I can edit the profile. I can do some other actions which aren't quite as important. All right. But notice like I can see them. However, you all will know that Carson is not 12 years old. And so if I go through here and I select for my profile up here in the top, I can select my profile. But if I go through and I select try to search for Carson, he does not come up because he's not 12 years old. And so only people that need the information to search for kids can end up doing that, which is kind of nice and should ease your fears if you have that with having info out there. Another thing that we can do as far as privacy is concerned is under actions on your profile, you will notice that there is a section for privacy. And I did want to address this because some of you may be interested in this. The first thing is that you can select this option here that only allows church leadership to view profile information. So it basically makes you unlisted. People can't really couldn't search for you, and this might be useful for like police officers or things where they just want their information out in the public, where that's extremely sensitive, and so that's completely understandable. But the defaults for people is that your mobile phone, your address, email address, birth date, only the month and the day, and your anniversary. Once again, only the month and the day is accessible to everyone. And then your home and work phone number is only to people who are in a group with you. And so you can go through and you can select that, but those are the defaults for that. And so for now, that's pretty much everything that I want you to know about uh, your personal profile information. The next thing I wanted to go to was back to the home screen. You will notice that here you'll see a welcome, you will see a recent activity. There won't be much there. You can see messages and forums, and right now there won't be, but there will be things added to that in the future. But on the right side here, you'll see the groups that you are a part of, and everyone will be a part of this group of our church. That's basically the group that we'll use to send out emails, things like that. But below that, I've created a group for directory. And so the reason for that is you can't search for other people, or you can't just scroll through and see other people unless they are in a group and that allows participants to interact with one another, which I've recently learned that. So if you've tried using this as a directory, you haven't been able to do that very well. And so this, you can go through and you can scroll, you can see pictures, and so that may end up helping you out. And so the other way that you can search is simply up here in the box. If you know their name, you can go through and you can search. And I did that earlier whenever I was searched for my own name. Other things you'll end up seeing in the future, you can see events. We can use this for you to serve, and then also for you to give. However, I will say that using our app or using the actual website uh, will be much better for that. But there is another option there if need be. So for now, this is, I think, a good starting point for the video. I hope that it has helped out and certainly hasn't made things more confusing. But if you need help with anything, if you need your photo moved over from the previous directory, please just let me know. I can do that extremely quickly, as some of you have already found that out. So I hope that this video has helped you out, and I hope that you have a great day. Thanks.